Hey again, this is video number 2 about how to build a public domain channel. And I don't want to use the word challenges because I don't know what to use here. I just want to make sure that I don't want to scare anybody away because it's not that it's challenging, it's that it needs a lot of patience. That's the word I guess we should use here. Patience. And a lot of time. A lot of time. So set yourself apart. So, okay, I'm going to do this because I need this. You have to find your own why you're doing this. We spoke about that in video number 1. My why was because I wanted to create an ATM machine effect that can, feed me. um, so what I'm gonna look at my notes again. Okay, so this video is about how nobody warned me about how much time it takes to build a channel like this. Well, nobody warned me because there was no video out there like this. Like I'm warning you now how much time it takes. I wish I kept looking for something and looking and looking. And with today's technology, you figure you'll find something. Maybe there's a book out there. I didn't find it, but I didn't want to read about it. I just wanted to have a video like this. And that my brain works better when I watch videos like this, and they help me better, they guide me better. So some people like to read, some people like to watch videos, right? I was a hairstylist for many, many years, and I guess my brain stayed in that zone of looking at something and learning. So I learned like that. But I still read, don't get me wrong, especially when I put the channel together. I had to read. This is why I'm making these videos. I had to read for hours and hours. My brain wanted to explode like so much information that I had to go look for to build the channel. So I had to read about it, and then I had to build it, and then I had to deal with the mistakes. So here I want to talk about, I'm just going to read my notes, okay? Describe, spend, location, confirming films. Okay, emphasize, let's get essential, collection work, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so spending time locating, confirming films. Wow. Whew. I would sit here on my sofa over here. I would get up at 6 in the morning, have my coffee, have my breakfast, um, do what I need to do, take care of my 2 little dogs. For like 3 months, I didn't even go to the gym. I stopped doing a lot of different things, okay? I would say more like 6 months. I mean, I didn't stop going to the gym because I will work out here at the house. But what I mean is, when you start doing this, you need to tell yourself, okay, I'm going to do this. I need to shut down the world for a minute. Do whatever you do if you're working. I don't know. You have kids, etc. Take care of it, but you have to set your mind to that this is all you're going to do for the next 6 months. Okay? It took me 6 months to get the type of library that I want. I don't know what your goal is. My goal was to have 1,000 films in my channel. I wanted to create a streaming channel. That's what I've created. At the time of this video, I was only like 800 and I forgot 800 and something, 820, 34, I think. I can't remember. But somewhere in there, doesn't really matter. That's not what the video is not about that. The video is about, it depends. If you only want 200 movies, you look for 200 movies. You want only 50, you do 50. I wanted 1,000, and I'm still. This is a year later, okay, and I'm still on in the 800. Now, to find those films, I would get up, like I said, 6 a.m., blah, 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 blah. I already said that. So then I will sit here. I will have some water, a little snack. I will have a timer on because it's important for you to focus on what you're doing because, if you have other things you need to do. But you are going to spend a lot of time in your computer. You have to have that type of work discipline to do this, okay? It'll be worth it at the end. It'll be worth it, but remember, when you build this channel, you have to keep in your mind, this is something you're going to put out there for the rest of this life. And the longer it's out there, the longer it's going to mature. So you have to do it right from the beginning, okay? So now, to look for movies, I would download like 20 movies, keep 6 of them because the system, again, okay, so you go, you find your movies, okay? I'm trying not to name names, but you will figure that out, believe me. That's why we have all that new technology nowadays. I'm trying to not say certain names because I don't want to get a strikes and things like that within the system of YouTube. So I found my movies. I downloaded a whole bunch of them. That alone took me like 4 hours to do. And then I will put them into the system. And then they download. You have to, me, I take my pamphlet. Okay, they were downloading. I will go give my dogs lunch, something like that. I will come back, and I will take my pamphlet because I'm a musician. I will take my music. I will learn something. Boom. But I wouldn't leave my computer until the movies downloaded. All of them. You're gonna see right away. Because in the system, what happens in the system is, it'll say public domain, okay? But when you bring it to the system, it spits out the ID. Okay, this ID is copyrighted. They show it out and they just give you a big old red circle, like, out of there. and you see that, get rid of it immediately. That alone, okay, so I will do that, right? And then I said, okay, I have 6 films out of 20. Then I will go back into the system, go look for another 20. I will end up with 5. Again, it says public domain, but I don't know how or I mean, according to my research, people come and they add something to the video, they change something in the music, or they add a little logo to the movie somewhere, and or they switch the information attached to the movie. So there's a lot of stuff that goes on over there, and you don't know this. You think it's a public domain because that's what you want, public domain movies, to be safe and not get any strikes and any warnings, which I did get. So this is what if I would have seen a video like this is where that information would be very helpful for me, So then you go do it all over again and again and again, and I will end up probably with like the whole entire day, 16-hour day, I will end up with like maybe 12 movies out of all those movies, and I downloaded like 75. You know what I mean? Then once you put it in the system, you have to curate them. You have to give them love. You have to put the title. You have to get creative. That's when you get creative. You know what I mean? I wanted to do something that was more like a library. So I wanted each movie to have a description, to have a rating, to have enough information to people to say. Because I know every time I went to YouTube and I watched a movie, that's what I would look for. I would look for, what is this movie about? Da 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 da. So I would look for ratings, but none of them have ratings. So this is when I got creative and I gave my movies rating with popcorn emojis. You could use whatever emoji you want, candles, car, dogs, I don't know. Get creative. If I was to build another channel, um, I would probably use French fries, pizza, soda. I don't know, just an emoji that connects to the movie. You know what I mean? But that's in a different video. So right now, this is about the time. Oh, and then once the organization, once you find that movie, don't make the mistake that I did. I would just leave it in there like loose in the videos. This part is a little bit complicated because okay, there's home, there's videos, there's playlists, there's community. And the community doesn't open right away, by the way. That takes, I don't know. Me, it took like, I want to say 5 months before community opened for me. It's supposed to open at a certain time, but for whatever reason, for me, it opened 5 months later. That's another thing about YouTube. The more you do things in there, the more different things are just going to pop up in your dashboard, which is kind of cool. It's kind of like graduating. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, I did this, I did it, and then something else, a new window pops up, and a new window pops up. So it's kind of cool like that. But I would, if I was you, and if you are doing this, let's say you found I said 12 movies, 15 movies, whatever I said. So let's say you got 12 movies, right? And those movies are about Western movies. Right away, make your playlist immediately. If you have, let's say, 4 of this, 2 of that, 1 of this, make a playlist right away, guys. It'll save you so much time. Because if not, it's going to be messy, and you're going to be like, one movie goes where? It just gets messy. So you want to be organized from the beginning. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just throwing movies in there. And I'm like, how are people going to find these movies? like horror, Western, this and that. So it's not rocket science, but the system will teach you, you know what I mean? Just go to your system, ask a question, and follow it. Once you start doing that, you start seeing this beautiful organization that you're creating of a library, and it feels good because you know where you're at all times. I mean, I think it was not until like the third month that I realized I have videos everywhere. That's all I had. I had no playlist. I had no direction. I was just throwing public domain movies in there because they were public domain. So you don't want to do that. Don't do that, guys. I mean, you could if you want to, but that's what that's what these blogs are about. So you don't have to do that, and then go back. Because yeah, that's another thing. Once you do that, and then you see how messy it is. No one's going to your videos, and you're like, but why? What's happening? And people are just clicking and leaving. Why? And then you realize, it's like it's hard to find something in there because there's no organization. You have nothing organized. Once you do that, people start giving you comments. You start feeling good about it, and then you feel like you're creating something real. It's like I wanted to create a feeling. See, I don't want to say names, but a feeling of other streaming channels. How's that? So I wanted to have that professional feel to my channel. So I recommend that you try to do that too, and you could do it however you want. But that's my recommendation. That's why I'm making this blog about the work that's going to be involved and how to do it before you move on to your next chapters, because of many chapters that come in building a public domain channel. Okay, many many chapters, guys. I guess it took me a year to put this together, and I took a lot of time off. Like I said, I was devoted to it. That's what I'm trying to say. Again, you probably have a job. Again, I think I mentioned that before. Make time. You're gonna need it. Okay? So that's what I'm talking about: organization and how to confirming films and how essential it is to yeah, to be organized. This collection took me about, yeah, it took me 1 year to build. And by the way, I'm still building it. But the difference is that now I passed the 4,000 hours, which is, we'll talk more about that. But you still need them. Trust me. There's no way around them. So, with that said, our next video, we're going to talk about why most people give up. I could see why most people give up, but we'll talk about the next video. So that'll be video number 3. So with that said, remember that every view keep history alive and help the creators. In this case, the creator. Subscribe, like, leave comments, as this supports and helps the channel. And I look forward to seeing you in video number 3. And we'll talk about why most people give up. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.